Welcome everyone to our Monday night meditation and channeling. I'm Chamundai. And today I was thinking about, I often just tune in to see what might be the theme of the evening or the day. And I was contemplating and I was feeling the guidance from my higher guides that it's a really good time to remind ourselves of how much help is actually around us and available to us. So I know that as humans, we've been really conditioned to feel as though we're on our own and we're separate from each other, we're separate from the divine forces. And that has been part of our upbringing. We've closed down a lot of our capacity to hear our intuition, to be telepathic, all the things that are actually normal for humans. And I just was reminded of this lovely book. This is one of my faves, and it's called Hiring the Heavens by Jean Slater. So, Jean Slater, Slatter, Jean, Jean Slater. And it's called Hiring the Heavens, a practical guide to developing working relationships with the spirits of creation. And it's just a beautiful reminder of the way that all around us there are guides, teachers, masters who are helping us and guiding us. And even beyond that, what Jean says in the book, and I believe this to be true as well, is that everything that is here on earth, every type of person, every type of profession, every collection of what would you call it? Every collection of skill sets is also available in the heavenly realm because as above, so below is a teaching that we're probably familiar with. It's as below, so above, as above, so below. So all that is on earth is like a mirror of the creation forces that are all around us. And so while we might call on our soul, or if we have a guru or a teacher, we might call on that teacher. And if you were thinking about your day-to-day life, if you wanted an inspiration for something to cook, you wouldn't necessarily call your accountant and say, hey, what should I cook for dinner tonight? Can you give me a recipe? You'd call either your best friend or you'd go looking for a master chef. And if I wanted to know how to figure out my technology, again, I wouldn't ring my best friend who's the amazing chef. I would ring someone who's really up to date and connected to technology and has those skills. So in the book, she talks about the fact that all these different like almost like qualifications or collection of skill sets are in the heavens, in the angelic realm, in the divine realm. And as to exactly how it works, when I think about it, it's almost like we know that the creational forces are infinite. And then I feel as though they coalesce themselves down into the practical help that we need as humans here living this human life. So if I was looking for, I did this recently. What was I looking for? I often do it with technology. When I'm trying to work out something, I'll call on the guides or the angels of the particular, like I might be, say, in my calendar system, or I'm in my website trying to work out something, or even in an email or in a new system that I haven't been in before, and I can't see easily how to do the task I'm wanting to do, and I'll call on the guides of that particular one. And all of a sudden, I'll see something that I didn't see before. I'll see a button or I'll see an option. And I think we laugh and joke about the fact that there are parking angels, right? And everyone goes, oh, yeah, we just can get a car park. But that's kind of just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more. So there's guides for even how we should say things in relationships, or if there's conflict, or if there's a medical situation, you want some insights. And of course, there's your own higher self. And that's going to encompass all sorts of things. But sometimes when there's something in particular going on, even like there's something going on with your car and you're not quite sure what it is, it's like, well, where's the divine mechanical engineers or the guides of, if you're wanting it to go somewhere in a direction and maybe your maps is not working, the guides of how to find places. So this is just an idea to have some fun. And I thought maybe during the next week, you might like to start calling on the guides of the angelic help that you need. It might be a divine real estate, or, like if someone was selling their house, they might call on the divine real estate agents. And within business, Jean talked a lot about how in her own business, if she needed more clients, she would call on the marketing angels. And then all of a sudden, she would get messages or the phone would ring and there would be people wanting to book in for her services. So there's an invitation to have a little bit of fun with that and let me know how you go. And now we will do a little connection and we will call on the angels of cleansing and clearing to clear our energy field, to balance our energy. And then we'll see what is the next piece for us tonight and what might be a channeled message. So let's just gently sit down into the body, just relaxing, calming down into the center. That's fun. Yes, that's right. Good to get some good info. It's amazing how we often end up ringing up the right person who has the right info for just what we need when we've got a bit of a puzzle going on or a bit of a kind of obstacle. All right, so let's gently close our eyes and just breathing down deep into beautiful Mother Earth. Ah. And I was given a beautiful practice recently, which we might do in a minute, which involves using our breath and our sound, our throat, to make humming sounds. But first of all, we'll just call on the Supreme God, Divine Mother Father. We'll call on our guides across time and space, the highest vibrational beings who are helping us, our guides, teachers, ascended masters who are here full of unconditional love for us. Thank you for being here. And we call on Sri Shakti Narayani Amma, Om Namo Narayani, Om Namo Narayani, Om Namo Narayani. And we call on Saraswati tonight for wisdom, the collection, the goddess who holds wisdom in decision-making and information. And we call on Lakshmi for abundance and Durga for strength. They're the qualities within Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. And we call on the archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel to surround us, to protect us and guide us. We pay our respects to the nature sprites and the traditional owners of the land that we're all on. We call on the land spirits that we come in peace. As we ask to be a pure channel for divine light, love, and power, wisdom and abundance, selfless service. May we be divinely guided and protected with clear insight, accurate perception, and correct expression. As we might offer this time and space tonight at the lotus feet of the divine. Through divine grace, so be it. Good. And then just breathing deep into Mother Earth, we have the qualities of Saint Germain and the violet flame to cleanse and clear and purify us. It's always good to let go of any energies and parts of ourself that have completed their job for the day. So just breathing in and just breathing out all over. And just imagine that violet flame coming through and just cleansing through our energy field, through any relationships, any situations that might have been tricky. Just breathing out the back of the body, letting go. And then just breathing down deep into the earth. Imagine we can breathe down and connect into the core of Mother Earth, right down deep, past all the rocks into the center, and thinking about the earth as the high vibrational goddess being Mother Gaia, breathing up that beautiful golden energy all the way up through the body and out through the top of the head. And breathing in from above, letting your awareness go to the highest point in the universe, way, way up above the planets to the creator source. And breathing in from that pearlescent white light, that creative light. And letting that wash all the way down through the body. And letting the space around you be cleared into a sacred space. Just intending that the cleansing light is washing out all around you. Asking in your mind for any energies that are not supporting you, just to leave now. Just letting them go. Maybe just saying, I release all energies that are not mine. And remembering that we live in a world where there's lots of different vibrations, energies, other people's thoughts. There's different events going on. There's conditioning. And we can just pull our energy out of all that. Just imagine that your energy is coming back to you. You might have been thinking about things, listening to some music, talking to someone. Just bring all your energy in. And in your mind, just saying, I call back my energy, call back my power. And at the same time, intending to send back any energy that's not yours back to where it came from. And taking a moment just to rest within your heart and just taking a moment to be really kind and compassionate with yourself. Whatever is going on in life at the moment, reminding yourself that you're doing an amazing job, that you are an amazing, divinely inspired being. Everything's exactly as it's meant to be. And if there is anything at all going on in your life that you need a bit of help with, calling on the angels and the highest vibrational beings of that particular little area of life, whether it's organization or it's support with something that you're trying to, some sort of conflict or something you're trying to sort through. And then allowing it to be given to those high vibrational beings, almost as if whatever the issue is, you can just gift it up to the divine to say, okay, I'll give it back to you, bring forth the support. I'm not going to spend my worrying mind worrying about it anymore. I'm going to let it go and allow the answer to come in. And that just loosens all of our energy. It loosens any holding on and worrying and trying to push through and get something done, trying to figure it all out, which is our normal human condition. Opening up the spaciousness and allowing the physical body to relax as well, and letting the roots go down into the earth, your energy connecting into the earth. I'm just going to tune in as we're just breathing there and see what might be a message coming for us tonight, maybe on this theme of allowing the divine to help us. Maybe it's on something else. We'll just see what comes. Good, good. So they're angels reminding us. So we are the angels who hold the playful and joyful energy here to remind you today that your spiritual journey does not need to be serious or hard work. And even the pathways in your life and the obstacles or the situations in your life which you may struggle with and may find it difficult to find an answer to, this is a calling for you to hold this situation lightly. We would encourage you to think about any problem in life as if it is a balloon, and in allowing it to rise up and to float through the air, it can gather forth the messages and the inspiration that can flow down into your mind and into your heart to bring forth the solution that you are seeking. However, it is the human conditioning, and we see this getting sometimes stronger, although the divine help is more available to you. that when situations are happening in your world which are difficult and often painful, the focus of the human becomes very small and the concentration becomes very pointed, like a little pinhead. And so as a human has a problem, it is like all their attention goes down into this one situation, and the peripheral vision that could perhaps see around corners or into other dimensions is closed off. And so we would encourage you anytime you have any sort of difficulty or problem, the how do we say, the instinct or the first reaction for you is always to do your best with all of your intelligence to try to work out the answer to the problem. However, it is like you're inside one room of a house and you are looking for a plate because you want to eat dinner, but the plate is not inside your room. You've left it in your car. But when you're inside your room, you can't see into your car, so you can't see that that's where the plate is. And so your visioning and your capacity to find a solution is restricted to the room that you are in. And this is similar to the vibrational reality or frequency that you're sitting inside at this moment. So imagine that you start to worry and stress about a problem, and all of your focus and attention comes inward on the problem, and you are inside a very small room and you are looking for the answer to the problem inside that room, but in fact, the answer is in another location. And so we would give you a little image which might help any time you have a problem. The first thing is to utilize your breathing activities and your breathing practices. And as you utilize your breathing practices, this is the first step. And it is a step to bring your body and your nervous system into a balanced state. And this is essential before you move forward into locating that solution to the problem that you have and that you are facing. And so stage one, when you have a difficulty, is to utilize your breathing in a way that calms your nervous system. And for people who have perhaps practiced yoga, they might enjoy alternate nostril breathing, nadi shodhan. Those who perhaps know about the polyvagal theories will have some breathing practices of breathing in and breathing out for a longer breath. This is also done in yoga practices. There is the square breath where you breathe in, hold, breathe out, and hold out for the same counting. Any of these activities is stage one when you find yourself faced with a difficulty or a stress. The second one is, while you would immediately want to go into action mode and try and find a solution to your problem, we would suggest that you experiment with stage two being a moment of closing your eyes and calling on your higher self, your guides, your teachers, and any masters and angels of the highest vibration that may be relevant to the problem that you have. So, for example, you have had an argument with your neighbor and you are worried about what to do, feeling frustrated about the interaction, and you come back, you do your breathing, then you call on the higher self of you, your own higher self. You call on perhaps some wisdom, such as in one tradition, the goddess Saraswati. And then you might call on the great masters of relationships. And you might suddenly have an idea, oh, I'm having a conflict, and the conflict is with a part of myself that looks external. because humans have been conditioned to believe they are separate from everyone else. And yet, if there was a conflict, that conflict is between a part of you in this physical form and a part of you in another physical body. And that other part of you in another physical body may be doing and saying things that you completely disagree with, causing all sorts of chaos and conflict. And you might be feeling very annoyed, and this is completely normal and human, and you should understand and be compassionate with yourself and have a little laugh about the fact that it's very frustrating. And then call on the guides and angels who can master relationships. And you may have a sudden idea such as, oh, that's a part of me. There is a beautiful practice from the Hawaiian tradition, which is called Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And as you repeat that beautiful prayer, you are not asking for that person to forgive you. You are not forgiving them. You are simply creating that vibration within your own heart that allows you to reclaim lost parts of self that you might be in conflict with. And as you do that, you will shift your own vibration. And that comes back to the image we were giving of being stuck within one room. As you raise your vibration and you allow your heart to expand with that beautiful prayer, all of a sudden, you are not confined to one room of your house. You are suddenly up on the rooftop and you are seeing all sorts of different solutions. And this has come because of a shift in your perception. And that shift comes because you have altered your vibration and your frequency, because you have come back to your nervous system calming and to your heart center. The heart frequency, both the physical heart, the energetic heart, the heart chakra, brings forth a coherence once it is focused upon, and certain practices such as gratitude or even the Ho'oponopono, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, repeating that prayer, it creates a resonance inside your heart. This sends signals to your whole physical system. It changes the way your brain is working, and you will have access to different parts of your brain that will bring forth the solution that you are seeking. And even if no solution immediately comes into your mind, you will create the best playground or the best environment for the solution to come to you. And so it is like if you are growing something, you prepare the soil, you put the seeds in, and if you walk away and never go back for days, you need to water, you need to have done the preparation. But once this is done, the seed will sprout itself and it will fertilize inside the soil, which has been prepared as the environment or the correct container. And so in the same way, the solution to any of your problems can grow forth just like a seed grows when you have prepared the environment, and this environment is yourself. So you can think of yourself and have fun with this. As we started this conversation, we reminded you that we are the angels of fun and play and joy. And you can laugh at yourself if you've been annoyed at your partner, your child, your neighbor, whoever the person is, somebody at your workplace. You can remind yourself that that was just a moment in time. It is not all of who you are. And that emotional state does not have to remain with you. It can be shifted very quickly. And the more this is practiced, the more you reach emotional mastery, where emotions that are out of balance become very fleeting and they come and go quite quickly, returning you to a place of peace. And in that place of peace, all of the information of the universe is available to you. You can even practice imagining and connecting with a master of whatever the situation is. Even if it was that you have a problem with your car, you can imagine yourself connected with the world's most knowledgeable car mechanic who is able to diagnose, find the solution, know how to implement it, and restart the engine of the car. If you have a technology issue and suddenly, and this one experienced this morning, the Zoom, which we are now loving to be able to speak upon, was not working in any part of the computer technology. There was no access to Zoom anywhere. And in the initial panic, there was no obvious solution. But in the moment of sitting back and relaxing, the solution came to simply close down and restart the computer, which completely cured the problem. However, access to that idea comes from trust and faith and prayers to the vibration of those great ones who can help. And so we would encourage you in this next time that you have, in the next days and weeks, to practice and have fun with calling on the angels of any issue you may be dealing with, whether it is something at your work, whether it is to do with your home, whether it is to do with your car, your friends, anything at all. Ask for those great ones to help you, and then see the ideas, the opportunities, and the people who may come forth to help you. We are happy at this moment, although we can share some more, to see whether there might be any questions, in which case you can ask those questions out loud by allowing your microphone to speak forth your question, and we will answer.
Hello, I managed to make it in.
Welcome.
Tips for staying sovereign in your energy and not getting caught up in the energy of others. Energetic boundaries, energetic hygiene.
Very good, very good. This is very good focus. And the truth is that it is your vibrational frequency that will provide you the protection that you seek and the peace and the connection to your own energy. And there are many, many different practices that can be followed. And some of those practices, the most simple one that is easily accessible to everyone, is to call on Saint Germain and the violet flame. This is a very high frequency of energy which comes into your energy field and transmutes. So it takes the energy in a negative form and changes it into a positive form. And the more that you work and build a connection with Saint Germain and the violet flame, then the more easily you will feel the benefit of that energy, and it will shift and purify your energy field. Then it is important to deal with what might be pulling you into dynamics that are uncomfortable. So all humans have a history of conditioning. There are things, people, places, beliefs that have been given to you either as a young child, even in another lifetime. There are habits that you have, each human and each of you has established. And so we highly recommend a time each day of either whatever is the most resonant for you, a journal practice of writing out what might have happened in the day that might have caused some sort of feeling of other people's energy being with you. And the other way is to practice a silent meditation where you start to get very familiar with what is the voice of my soul and my higher self, and starting to really allow those voices to be available to you. You will notice at first there will be a fairly loud voice, which is your egoic self. And this voice is the one that will be saying things like, I'm bored. What's the time? Is this meditation over? This is silly. We don't have time to do this today. We need to go to work. I'm hungry. I want to go and have a coffee. All those things will be the egoic voice, which is required for certain activities. However, once you start to distinguish these different parts of self, and you ask your egoic self just to step to the side for a moment because you are going to listen to your higher self, and you call that part of you in, then you will start to hear a quieter voice. It's the one that will sometimes give you a little nudge. We need a bit more water, or it's time to have a rest, but it'll be a quiet voice. And often there's not a lot of attention paid to that quiet voice. Once you start to distinguish these parts of self, they are then available to you to ask the answers to the questions that you seek. So, for example, you can ask your higher self, do I have in my energy field any energy of other people? And you can start to develop a yes and no response. It might be a movement of the body. It might be a kind of feeling in the solar plexus or the stomach, or perhaps there's an expansion of the heart. There'll be a signal inside your body. And as you feel that signal to tell you yes or no, you will start to become familiar. And then, as we have already described, you can start to bring forth that violet flame and allow it to transmute any negative energy. And this is a practice that is good to do consistently throughout the day. You can even ask Archangel, you can ask Archangel Michael also. He also has a very purifying energy and is very good for cutting off the energy of other people and disconnecting you from that. Saint Germain has the violet flame that transmutes, clears, and purifies. And as you start to practice working with Saint Germain, and there are many beautiful meditations that you can find on your technology on YouTube, and this one, making this transmission, can give you some resources. Once you start working with that on a regular basis, it will become very familiar to you where your energy is strong and where your own energy is present and where it is, we might say, leaking away to other people. And as you start to investigate this, you might find there's always one person whose energy and yours seems to get intermingled together, but yet it doesn't happen with other people. And then you might start to spend time in your silent meditation or in your journaling. You can ask the question, why am I losing my power to this person? And ask your higher self to give you some answers. And this then becomes the self-exploration, which is the job of everyone in human form, is to become to know yourself so well that anything that's out of balance can always be adjusted. Because it is true in the human condition, there will always be some things that are working well, some things that are not working so well. There'll be some obstacles, and we would encourage this to be a playground and a fun. Is this making sense, beloved one?
Yes, yeah, yeah. And
Very,
I really, really enjoyed building a relationship with Saint Germain since maybe one of the first calls I joined, and it's been so powerful. Yeah.
very, very
Very.
good. Very
Mm.
good. Mm. So this can continue. And there are some other practices which we feel may be of benefit, and this one can teach you. And they come from another tradition where it is a habit of the energy of those who are extremely empathic, that their energy flows out into the energy of other people's fields. And this can sometimes be beyond awareness. And it is done through an unconscious desire, uh, even a habit to know what is happening with other people, sometimes to be able to have a self-protection, to know, oh, that person's angry, I'm going to stay away from them. But what you will find is as your energy is contained more and more, and you pull your energy back in and breathe it inside your own aura, your sensitivity will be stronger, and there's no need for your energy to, what we would say, leak out into the energy fields of others. So this is a strong practice which can be shared with you, and it is simply calling in your energy. It's bringing it all inside and imagining a beautiful light globe or a bubble of light around you with your energy inside, imagining that anyone you interact with has their own bubble around them, and you don't need to merge into their bubble in order to have a conversation or to be close to them or to understand them. And they're not allowed to bubble or flow into you. And so keeping this container of energy is also very worthwhile and important for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? We wish to remind again the commencement of this transition around having fun and play and taking yourselves lightly. There is a tendency in humans, once you notice something about yourself that perhaps you think is not holy or is not being a good human, and you might be ashamed or wanting to make this a secret that you would not show to other people. But we would encourage you to look at this and allow the world to be a mirror, and to look at anything mirrored back to you, and to be very gentle and kind with any characteristics of yourself that you may come upon. Perhaps you have decided one day you're feeling extremely selfish and you do not want to share whatever it is that you have with somebody, or you do not want to help somebody. Somebody's asking for your help and you just think, no, I don't want to do it. I feel too tired and I just want to go home and be by myself. And later you might think, oh my gosh, I was very selfish. I did not help that person. But that's okay. So you were selfish that day. Tomorrow you might not be selfish. Tomorrow you might be selfish. The problem is not in the characteristic you might see that you think you do not like. The problem is in the judgment of that. And so in this reminder to be light and happy and have fun with the way you are in your life, and to bring forth the lightness and call forth the angels who can help you, it is to encourage you to find the fun part of your own inner being, the divine child that is always playful and humorous and filled with light and laughter. And remember to find that in anything that you are doing. Otherwise, the gravity and the heaviness of life will be and feel like a burden. So at this time, we will now say goodbye, and we will enjoy speaking to you another time, and we send much love and much peace. Goodbye. It's very hot. Oh, that was very a lot of heat. How is
Mm.
everybody? Everyone else okay?
Yes. Are you okay?
Yeah, it was just like it's getting very hot in there at the end.
Mm.
It's not always, but just tonight I was like, whoa, something's fiery in there.
Mm.
Something was fiery. Good. All right. So that could be a little bit of few things to work upon. Anyone got any questions, comments, or thoughts about anything?
I on my video because I think it's nicer, but I'm in the bathroom. Just making my way towards eventually brushing my teeth. Um, Thank you, Chamundai, for being a transmission, or for sharing those transmissions. And yeah, the Saint Germain has been very powerful for me, I think.
Amazing. Good on you.
Mm.
Yeah, good on you for using it. The other practice is something that comes from the art of feminine presence, which is a body of work Rachel Jane Groover taught me. And um, I've actually got a little bit of a class that I taught on it. So I might just see where I can share it. But there's different ways that we hold our energy. So
Mm.
she described that most people who are quite empathic, they kind of diffuse their energy. When I was channeling, I couldn't think of the words, but now I'm in my brain. Uh,
Mhm.
it's like we diffuse our energy out because it's a habit of feeling into how everyone else is feeling. It
Mm.
often comes a little bit along with a tendency towards, I don't know if
Well, like insecurity sometimes, yeah.
yeah, and sometimes a bit of people pleasing because as an empath, because you can feel what everyone's feeling,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have a tendency to want everyone to be okay
Mm.
so that they feel all right, so that you feel all right.
Mm-hmm.
But then we start to realize that as we contain our energy,
It's so
then
empowering.
I'm okay, you're okay.
Mm.
So I'm not here to rescue you. I'm not going into a kind of uh what's it called, that victim, rescuer, persecutor sort of triad of interaction. So I'm not here to rescue you. I'm not here to persecute you if I think you're doing something wrong. I'm not a victim. So there's these disempowering
Medini just messaged
roles that
drum
we can take
triangle.
on. So yeah, so that's kind of another thing that I think helps us to get our sustainable energy. And then some people don't diffuse their energy, they actually shrink their energy. So
Mm.
what happens is um, they have the capacity for vastness,
Mm.
have a habit of shrinking, which maybe they were told to be quiet, to you know, whatever the conditioning of growing up, but then they shrink it. And so they need to learn to extend their energy out and
Mm.
get comfortable with it extended, because they'll often feel when they start to expand their energy, they might feel like they're overbearing on other people, but they're actually not. They're just filling out their own energetic sphere and their light globe. And then you have people who,
Mm.
without realizing it, will almost like throw their energy onto other people when they speak.
Ah.
And you'll
Okay.
sometimes experience it like, whoa,
Mm.
I just want to step back. And
Mm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
called like spilling the energy. And so if you're an
Mm-hmm.
empath and someone's spilling their energy, you
Mm-hmm.
feel almost like they're hitting you. But then it's okay, because as long as your energy field is strong,
Mm.
you'll be able to contain your energy
Yeah.
and they won't impact you. So yeah, they're all very fun things to do.
Yeah, it was very interesting to hear you share the sort of like visualization of the bubbles,
Mm,
because that was something that came through to me at the beginning of the year in around April. I was at a music festival and I was on the dance floor and I had an incense with me for the first time.
mm,
And I remember someone looking at me and I was in such a strong energy, like just felt so much love, so radiant. And I felt so empowered and just like really sure of who I was. And then
yes.
I looked to the side and someone gave me, an energy where they were probably lost or something, I don't know.
Mm,
And I just immediately started to take it on. And then I recognized that I could just like cut that and that was separate, that was theirs, because I had such a clear idea of what my baseline
what
was.
yours was. Yeah.
And then since then, it's definitely like continued to integrate in many different ways. And I actually was trying to support a friend a couple months ago, and I used this analogy of like bubbles, and you can think of your sort of fishbowl above your head with whatever color energy you have, and like how it
Mm.
pours into others, and theirs pours into yours, and yeah, very interesting. It's cool to
That's
when you
good.
have those like intuitive sort of downloads, and then it's
Yes.
shared. It's very cool.
So good. And as you say, when you've got the strength inside your own energy, it's easier to recognize what's you and what's not. And that's that whole journey of self knowing, spending time to getting to know the self. So that is wonderful.